أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum, my brother and sisters. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are online with another stream, and we welcome our brother Aves to our live stream. Assalamu alaikum, brother Aves.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you so much, Brother Malik, for inviting me to yet another stream of doing dawah, doing this blessed work of the deen of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Jazakallah khair, bro. Inshallah, we will start our stream today with a very beautiful saying of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's from Sahih al Bukhari 5027. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the best among you are those who learn the Quran and teach it. So basically, today stream is related to how do we communicate with our God, or what are the ways to communicate with our God. Brother Abbas, I would like you to let us know, because in special today's world, we all know that everybody is busy in their life schedules, and it is very hard to learn about Islam and Deen. So what are your advices to our youngsters, that how they could improve their knowledge of Quran? Inshallah, if you start, then I will ask related question, and then we will go ahead in the same way, inshallah. Over
Yeah,
to you, brother.
Nahmadu. Yeah, thank you. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. So the topic of today's stream is very pertinent and very specific to the circumstances of Muslim world today. When we see that Muslims are struggling in every field, ranging from science to technology to deen to politics, like in every single field of today's world, Muslims are struggling. One has to ask these questions to themselves, like what happened that we are facing this downfall, right? The simple answer is that we were greater, we used to be great when we followed Quran. Like what is the special attribute what makes us Muslim, right? It's the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. And how can we affirm that belief that we have this faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his deen is through the Quran, through the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through his speech which he sent to his most perfect servant and prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, when we forsook, when we shun Quran, and then we ask ourselves that why are we underdeveloped and why are we struggling? It makes no sense, right? So Iqbal, in his Jawab Shikwa, one of his best ever nazm, he says nazm means the poem. One of his best ever poems, he says from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just assuming like this is the reason of our downfall. He says, वो ज़माने में मुअज़्ज़ज़ थे मुसलमान होकर. Here, वो means like they means aslaf, our forefathers, our predecessors, uh, and specifically Sahaba Ikram, the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And he says, we, they were honorable, they were honored in the world um, by just being Muslims, right? Yeah. And here the Muslims mean the one who submits his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says they were honored and they had this dignity in the world because they were Muslims. And then he goes on and says that और हम हार हुए तारके कुरआन होकर, and were humiliated we are humiliated, and uh, we were made humble, like I don't know the proper word for khar. I think it's something like disrespected, insulted here. Anyway, so he says we become humiliated, we were disrespected and insulted just because we left the Quran. How? One must ask this question, that are seminaries, madrasas, schools, homes, children, women, and men, they recite Quran Kareem. Um, One can ask, like, how did Iqbal say that we left the Quran, right? And the answer is, we left the Quran because we left contemplating in its meanings. We left understanding um, the lakes of knowledge, yeah, the oceans of knowledge coming out of Quran. We left thinking over them, we left pondering over them, and then we were humiliated, right? So this is the small intro I wanted to make in order to tell that how important Quran is, if we want to progress, if we want to live among the nations of the world as leaders, as chosen leaders by Allah Ta'ala, as Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in His blessed speech says that kuntum khayran ummatan ukhrijat linnas, that you are the best of the nations who are chosen, who are manifested our people, right? So this is a rough translation. You can go into the details. I think it's Surah Al Imran. So what determines our status as khairan ummatan linnas, right? This status is determined by our capacity, our potential to follow the command and will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how can we enable ourselves to follow and um, submit ourselves in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will, is by understanding Quran, by contemplating our Quran, and by loving his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was walking Quran. Yeah, this is very important. So let's say, hypothetically, if a person, a scholar, he loves Quran and he reads Quran, yeah, and he uh, he leaves away the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and doesn't love him, I think that person is more likely to be led astray, right? So yeah, I will continue on the next step, next stage when you want me to. Yeah, but I think the intro is enough, inshallah.
Jazakallah, brother Abbas. It was a beautiful intro as usual. So, brother Abbas, we will start it from, like, in today's world, as we have a lot of media to consume, and we have a lot of things around us, and just because of that, it's very hard to focus on a single subject matter. So our youngsters are having a lot of trouble, especially when they want to, engage in book studies. I would like to present a few of the things in order to make a habit, how to read efficiently, and then inshallah I will come back to you and will ask you advice, like what is your advice? Because my brother, dear and sisters, like, in order to engage with Allah, and if you want to communicate with Allah, definitely you have to read the Quran, you have to understand the gist of Quran. If you really want to understand your religion, first you need to understand what Quran says. And of course, as being Muslim, we believe that Quran is from Allah Azawajal. It's a word of Allah. So we have to understand what Quran says exactly, and then we can definitely get a better grip on our religion, inshallah. I will just discuss a few of the techniques through which you could make a good habit of reading, because especially, like when you start reading, it's very hard to in engage with book, I mean. So I would not say that you directly start reading any you start reading any chapter, or start it from one end or the second end, but it totally depends like what is your interest in. uh, I mean, like, yeah, as you want to read any kind of book, first of all, the main course of reading that book is to find out your gen, like what do you like, what kind of book you want to read, what sparks your interest. uh, some people like to read about fiction, biography, mysteries, or histories. So Quran almost deal with all of these kind of genre. Like there are different kind of topics within a Quran. That's the very first step you have to consider. uh, I mean, figure out your genre. And the second one is start small. Like, do not go for, do not think that you're gonna finish the whole book in a single day. Do not think that you have to finish the whole chapter in a single day. Just start with small bit and pieces, and step build yourself slowly, slowly. Make your progress, as it is being said, like slow and steady win the race. So always try to follow that path. And the third part is, in order to increase your knowledge, or in order to make a good habit of reading books, you must join people of your own thought. Like, you should find out people who are doing the same thing as you are doing. I mean, make a group. That makes the task more easy. So if you are able to find like-minded people, it will be more easy for you to work out on these basic struggles. And the last thing is set your realistic goals. So let's say, like, if you want to read the whole book, do not make a target that you're going to finish that in a single day. As I said, start with small chapters, or probably small verses, and then make a target like, I'm going to finish, a page in a day, a page before sleep, or 2 pages before sleep. And in that way you could improve yourself, and inshallah within few days you will be better. So that was the advice. How could we start reading a book? Because most of the youngsters are having a problem, especially with reading, because we are living in the world where we could consume a lot of media through YouTube and many other, social media platforms, where you could see bunch of videos. And this is the reason that we are having a problem with reading. So that was the advice from my side. Now I uh, give mic back to my brother Avaz, and we'll ask from him that what are his suggestion on it. American failure losers. Okay, what you are talking about? Yes, brother Avaz, are you on stage?
Yeah, yeah, I am. I was just reading this comment of American failure. Just as the name suggests that this guy calls
He's
himself
talking about,
failure. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
talking about
yeah.
himself.
So let's say hypothetically, if a person who calls himself failure calls others losers, what makes those losers in reality? Like they're winners, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. For example, if a bad person like a thief calls another person a thief, what does it mean? The other person is not a thief really, right?
Hmm. I mean,
Yeah.
calling a bad name is not a good idea. If you are intellectually strong enough, you will definitely would like to say, okay, so yeah, you don't have any proof to prove that Allah is the God, do you? Yes, we do. If you want to come and join us, definitely we can talk, and
Yeah,
we can go ahead.
we are ready to talk. Although today's stream is not on this topic, but we can happily give you some
Yeah, I
thrashing
have.
in
Hmm.
your own field, right? So yeah, get some courage, come to the stream, and then we'll talk.
The
Until
link is
then,
pasted in the comment section. You can click on that and you can come and join. But give us a minute. We are talking about something real with our own public. And later on, you could join, and we would love to take you on stage. And we
yeah,
will definitely talk about your ideology as well. So be prepared and come to stage. Okay. Okay,
yeah.
brother Wes. Continue.
I
We
doubt.
will see. Inshallah.
Yeah, I doubt he will come. But yeah, anyway. So I'm reading Imam Al Ghazali's Ihya Ulumuddin, which is a revival of sciences of religion, basically. So in his um, chapter on recitation of Quran and its fazail, its blessings, right? He says that in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's words, what is the fazila of Quran Kareem? What is the blessing of Quran Kareem? In Tabarani, narrated by Abdullah bin Amr, although the sanad is the daif, yeah, but in fadail we take the daif hadith anyway. So it says man qara al quran thumma rai in ahda utiya afdala mimma utiya faqad istazara ma azama Allah ta'ala. So the person who has recited Quran and then he thought that someone else has been blessed more than me, then it's like he has considered Allah's blessing smaller, Allah's blessing on himself smaller, right? In other words, if I read the Quran Kareem, and then I think like Malik Saab has more money, right? More money, more cars, and this kind of that kind, and I have only one car, it means that I have considered Allah's blessing on me, which is one car, smaller, right?
Hmm.
In an other hadith, it says, um, near Allah. So I'm translating from Urdu to English, so just bear with me if I make some pauses, right? So
That's fine. Yeah, go ahead, please.
yeah, so it says that with Allah Taala, like near Allah, there's nothing more honorable and nothing better, no better intercessor than Quran Kareem. Neither any prophet, nor any angel, nor any other person, right? So this is one of the hadiths. Anyway,
Hmm.
so these kind of things, they just tell us that how blessed Quran Kareem is in the theology of Islam. Yeah. Then you were talking about the adab of Quran Kareem, that how we should do, what we should do in order to learn Quran and Quranic sciences. You provided a beautiful summary of the routines and the schedules every one of us should make. Yeah, I just want to add a few things. First is that I think it's a must that a person should learn at least a sufficient level of Arabic language with grammar like sarf and nahar and mantiq and balagha to understand what Quran is saying. I mean,
Hmm.
translations are good. I don't have anything against translations. Yeah, translations are good. But the way Quran talks to you and you only, you have to understand a certain level of Arabic. Otherwise, it's not really possible. So you would be, if you're reading translations, basically you would be reading another person's point of view, another person's tafsir of Quran, right? If you want to get your own uh, benefit from Quran Kareem, you have to learn a certain level of Arabic. So this is one thing. For that, you can't do that online or on from YouTube or from or by yourself just by reading books. You have to get a teacher, right? Your teacher should
Hmm.
have enough capacity, enough capability, who can teach you the basic manners and basic grammar of Arabic language. Okay, so let's put this aside. The next thing one should do is that meanwhile you learn Arabic, because it's a long process. You can't learn Arabic in 1 or 2 years. It's gonna take a few years of your life to reach to a certain level, right? And not everyone is that determined and consistent. So I would suggest that you don't leave reading translations until you can translate yourself.
Mashallah. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, let's say if I think that uh, until Arabic, until I learn Arabic holistically, completely, I should not touch the Quran. Yeah, this is gonna make me lose a lot of things, a lot of blessings in my life. So I would start. The ideal position is I would start reading Quran translations and tafsir now in my own language, but at the same time, I would start learning Arabic. Yeah.
Hmm.
So both things they can go hands in hand. Yeah. So that was the second thing. Third thing, we have to set a time frame every day. Let's say the best time of reciting Quran Kareem and learning Quran Kareem is after Fajr in the morning. Yeah. So you just take out 15 minutes of your time every day. Just read one or two ayah, read translation, and then read the tafsir after Fajr, and that's it. Just close the Quran and put it on the side. You will see the barakah um, coming on your life, coming into your life, and you will feel the effects of that. That's the three things. Yeah, and I would suggest, like, as soon as as possible, you should get a teacher, Quran teacher, right? That is the only way to learn the Deen. That is how our Deen is transferred from chest to chest. Yeah, Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah, brother Abbas. That was a beautiful advice. I will just recall the points that you have mentioned. That first of all, started from learning Arabic. Secondly, you must have a teacher, and during your learning process, do not stop reading translations. Translations are the the way to keep you engaged with Quran. And the fourth was time frame, which is having a very importance. The time you suggested that it should be early morning. So that was a beautiful advice, brother Abbas, I think. So what do you think, brother Abbas, these days that we are we can see there are so many people around us, especially on YouTube, because of the spread of media, because of these least limitations on the consumption of media. We have seen so many young YouTubers that are claiming, on which we have already have done like a lot of work in the past few days, and especially we have done a stream yesterday, that these people are claiming to leave the religion. And as we talk about it, that they have never ever read the religion at first place, and still they claim that they have left the religion. What would you advise to our youngster to stick to religion? I mean, like, it's a materialistic time where everybody is engaged in their own life, and we do not have a tendency to learn more, but we only take our what do you say, like, we take our uh, uh, I mean, the easiest way is to say that is uh, we take our motivation from the people who are in this materialistic world, who are on top class. And by saying the top class, mean that the people who are social media influencer, making a lot of money through social media. So what would you like to advise our youngsters, like how could they save themselves, and they could make a relationship with their creator, and in that way, they could find it easier to stick to religion, Islam?
Mm. So this is basically a
What?
pretty
Was a very
But
long question, I understand, but yeah, pardon me for, not comprehending it into a shorter one. But yeah, go ahead,
no, no.
please.
So some questions they can't be comprehended into the shorter ones. The thing is, we have to set our priorities right, right? I mean,
Hmm,
let's say if I have an exam tomorrow, yeah, and I have a meeting with a friend, yeah, this friend he's gonna give me like 10,000 rupees. But if I miss that exam, yeah, it's gonna cost me hundred of thousands. You know what
hmm,
I mean? Yeah, because I will fail the degree and the whole fee I paid throughout the year and the efforts I put into my course, they will all go wasted, right?
right.
Yeah. So my friend says, if you go to exam, I won't give you 1,000 rupees.
Hmm,
And I would choose, and if I'm a smart person, if I have an iota of common sense, I would go to exam and I would just say to my friend that, okay, thank you for your offer, but I can't miss this exam. Yeah.
hmm,
The
right. Yeah.
problem with the problem with Muslims, especially today, is that they don't do the cost benefit analysis. By cost benefit analysis, I mean this same example. If you apply this 1,000 rupees, which your friend is giving, is a monetary benefit. In on another occasion, that 1,000 could save you a lot of struggles, right? Yeah.
Hmm,
Let's say make it 10,000 rupees. Yeah, it would help you money in monetary sense, and in other times you would go, but since the exam had more worth, you would not sacrifice your exam. Similarly, cars and big houses and all that bank balance, it's good. Yeah, it's gonna help you a lot in your life, but is this life worth enough that you could sacrifice your akhirah for that? No way, right?
hmm,
I mean, on one hand, you have 60 years of life. On the other hand, you have eternity of life. You choose 60 years of life and you push away eternity of life and make yourself a contender for Jahannam, for hell. Yeah? I would say that there is no one stupider than you, more stupid
hmm,
than you, right? So if I'm smart, I would choose the eternity of life. Yeah. And interestingly, that eternity of life in Jannah doesn't stop me from earning houses, from earning bank balances, and from making good amount of money. Yeah. So I can have both. But people think that if you choose Jannah over this life, you would lose a lot. But in reality, it's not like that. How many Muslim influencers, I mean, the really Muslim scholars who are earning a lot of money at the same time, and their deen is top notch? You know what I mean?
hmm,
Let's say, um, talk about, for example, I know some people would disagree with me on this, but talk about Sailadim. Yeah. So you can disagree with him on some takes. Yeah, you can say that yeah he's not right in some opinions, but uh, you could see his struggle for Deen, right? You could see his pain for like how he talks about Islam and Muslim youth. Yeah, is he losing any money by doing so by serving the Deen? No, he's earning like millions of rupees, and not from Deen. He has a separate occupation which is psychologist. So he does the private therapies and he earns a lot of money. But at the same time, he's spreading the deen of Allah. Yeah. Again, I don't agree with him completely. But just to give you an example, like serving the deen, learning Quran, and spending some time every day in the way of Allah is not always a loss. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
If you are a student of knowledge and you want to um, spare your whole life for knowledge of Islam, then yeah, then you will be miserable in terms of money. Yeah, but I'm not saying here in this stream we are not advising anyone to take that route. Yeah, I would say you should learn as much deen as possible, and at the same time you should work hard to earn the halal risk. I think that would answer your question.
Jazakallah, brother Abbas. Yeah, that's all right. Although, as you said, like a lot of people will not agree with the example that you have mentioned, Sahil Adim, brother. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. And American failure, as you said, America is on failure. If you want to join, and you can come and join us anytime. We are almost done what we were sermoning about, and I have already posted the link in the comment section. You can come on the screen, and we would love to prove you Allah through many ways, and definitely we will prove you. If you think that we could not, then you are probably living in utopia. Just come to the stage, and inshallah we will talk about it. Okay, brother Abbas, the purpose of the stream was, like as the title suggests, do you want to communicate with Allah? So this was not an invitation to Muslims only, but to non-Muslim friends as well. As a lot of religion they claim that uh, if you become a part of that religion, you could have a connection with God. And these days, especially, we can see there are a lot of people they are diverting towards Buddhism, which is a philosophy. Basically, it's not a religion, it's not a complete way of life. And there are so many limitations in Buddhism as well. As usually we say, like when you speak to a Buddhist and ask him, like, what is the concept of creator in your system? They will say, like, we don't have any creator at all, which is like kind of funny. I mean, like, if you don't have any creator, uh, the whole concept of the religion is it fall down, because I mean, like, you could not drive your morality from your worldview if you don't have any entity who is driving you towards that worldview. So I will just converge the whole point in a minute, if you bear with me, brother Abbas. So as people are struggling with finding out the religion. So what are your advices? Like, how Islam emphasize, or what Islam have to present to the world, how they could, link with the God. And is that easy? Because a lot of non-Muslims they claim, they say that a Muslim have to pray 5 times in order to have a connection with the God, and it's a very hard for them. Like, looking at something from afar away, you could make number of claims, but the non-Muslims are saying, oh, it's very hard for a person to wake up early in the morning to pray in order to maintain their connection, and then 4 times later on after the first prayer. So, how would you describe this whole dilemma of, relationship with God in Islam?
So the interestingly, first you mentioned Buddhism who don't have a concrete belief in God. Yeah, I'm choosing very carefully words very carefully because to be honest, I don't know much about Buddhism, but as much as I did, as much as I do right now, I think that they don't believe in a God who is creator and who has a control of the creation. So they believe in this concept of karma, yeah, which is basically consequentialism. And similarly, the other mainstream religion, not mainstream, it used to be a mainstream religion. It was Confucianism in China. So Confucius was a big philosopher and big brain, and people who follow him, they think that there is no God, but they believe in some moral code for themselves for some reason. I don't know why. The problem with these religions is that if you only fear karma, yeah, I mean, let's say if I steal something, yeah, somebody is gonna steal my possession, my property, right? This is karma at some point of my life. Yeah.
Hmm.
The inconsistency with this thing is that, let's say, if I'm a very rich person, yeah, I have billions of dollars, and I steal from a person who just have a TV. He doesn't have anything else. I steal a TV. I bring that TV into my house, yeah, and then I become a billionaire, right? That person or some other person comes and he's gonna steal a TV from me. I mean, now I'm a billionaire, and the other person who will, if karma is right, the other person who's gonna steal from me, which is basically a consequence of my action, is he gonna steal a TV? Because if he steals a TV, it's not gonna have any effect on me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you could just explain it a bit more, will be awesome, inshallah.
Okay. So let's say you have 10 rupees, yeah, and I steal from you. At this point of time, I don't have any money. I steal from you and I steal 1 rupee. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now Buddhism says that there is karma for every bad action. I stole, so the karma means somebody will steal from me in future. Yeah. And
Right. Yeah.
then I go on, and in 10 years I become a billionaire. Nobody stole $1, 1 rupee from me, and I become a billionaire. And after 10 years, another person comes and he steals from me. Yeah, this is karma, which we call makafate amal in Urdu.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he steals one rupee from me. Does that 1 rupee gonna have any effect on me?
Not at all.
Not at all. But when I stole from you, it gave you a certain blowback financially, because you had only 10 rupees. I stole 1 rupee and you were left only with 9 rupees. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did someone give you the same amount of benefit? Did karma give you the same amount of benefit? No. So this system of karma can't be a system of justice. When we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is adil, He is gonna give you whatever you deserve and more. Yeah, because He can give. Here, the Buddhism and Confucianism, they lack on this ground. They can't provide justice to their followers.
Hmm.
So I think I made it clear. Yeah. And then we go to other religions. Like we discussed in great length about the monotheistic religions. The best three religions in the world at the moment are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So Islam leads the way because we have the pure concept of monotheism. We don't have a son of God. We don't have Trinity. Yeah. And then in Judaism, yes, they believe in one God at this point of time. But if you see Dead Sea Scrolls, there are a lot of anthropomorphic and lot of polytheistic notions, which you can see that at some point of history, at least, there were some instances when they deviated from monotheism. Islam never deviated from monotheism. You get what I'm saying? For
Hmm.
example, in Old Testament and in Quran, we have this story of a golden calf, right? Have you read it?
Yeah. Yeah. Surah
Yeah.
in Surah Al-Baqarah.
In Surah Al-Baqarah, and I think it's Surah Taha, there are a lot of instances where Quran talks about this. But this story is also in Old Testament and all the historical books, right? Where the Bani Israel, they just fled from the oppression of Pharaoh, the Pharaoh. They left the Egypt. Yeah, they have literally seen The Red Sea split in two parts. They have literally seen the stalk of Musa alayhi salam converting into a snake, big snake. They have literally seen Musa alayhi salam taking his hand out of his arm, and and his hand was illuminating. Yeah, they have seen all these um, signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the miracles of Prophet Musa alayhi salam.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the moment they left the Egyptian land, they crossed the Red Sea and they were peaceful. Musa alayhi salam went to the Temple Mount, to the Sinai basically. Sorry, not Temple Mount, Mount Sinai. He went there and they started worshipping a calf made of gold. So, do you imagine the followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at any point of time they would do something like this?
Not at all.
Not
Not.
at all. So clearly, Islam has a better monotheistic notion, monotheistic belief, which can't be compared to any other religion. So now, when we say that monotheism is best, we must have some evidence for that, right? Yeah. So one can ask these questions, that why one God is better than many gods.
Hmm.
Yeah. So for this question, we would answer with the with an example. Yeah, let's say you run an organization. Yeah, so there are four managers, 50 employees. Yeah, and then there is departmental managers, which are two or three or whatever. Yeah, let's say 10 managers, 10 operational managers, and then four general managers. Yeah, and then there is board of director, and then at the top there is director, or CEOs in some cases. Yeah, chief operating officer. I would ask you a question. Can a company at the top of hierarchy, can they have more than one CEO? Any company in the world.
Of course not.
Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, because the CEO is basically chief executive officer, and we all know that they are he have a decision making capabilities. But if there are more than one, they could have some conflicts, and then
Hmm.
there could be some serious consequences of that.
Right. So now let's take the world and the universe as a big organization, right? And if you have more than one god, there would be a lot of differences. There would be a lot of fights with each other. I Quran talks something about that at some point, but I don't really recall the ayah which is pertinent to this topic. But I'm pretty sure there is some ayah that if there was more gods, this thing would happen. And yeah. Anyway, so
Uh, sorry to interrupt. Just to add on something, like we are never gonna compare the God view with these worldly structured companies, because there could be a few companies existing with multiple CEOs or coexisting CEOs. So yeah, it's just a frame of reference in order to understand,
okay.
like how things are.
Now, so as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I know, on the top of hierarchy, you call it CEO or anything else. Yeah, the top level manager, or the person at the very top is only one. It can't be more.
Hmm,
Yeah,
hmm.
this is standard hierarchy. If somebody from atheism, from the belief of atheism, comes tomorrow and say, "Okay, I'm gonna change this because Muslims gonna provide this example again and again, and now I create a company which will have, like, let's say 10 CEOs, right? Yeah, and he makes this company. But the point is, the
Okay, sorry to interrupt, Brother Abbas. Islam is used to kill the disbeliever. Why are you guys not following it? Are you not Muslim? Come to stage, American failure. Why you are so scared? Like you are just typing behind the screen and you're writing everything. Why you do not come to the stage and we could have some civil conversation and then we can discuss what's the reason, like what is stopping you to come on the stage and join us and have a discussion with us. Like we're gonna have a one-to-one conversation with you and we could answer all of your questions. Yeah,
I doubt he has any questions. He's just a troll.
a
Anyway,
troll, probably a troll. Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
And mostly, these trolls do not have any proper knowledge of anything. Now, if we start asking him, could you present us a single verse from the Quran or Hadith where it is being teach in Islam that a Muslim should kill the disbeliever? I'm 100% sure he will not be able to present a single piece of evidence from the Quran or Sunnah. But I feel it funny that these people, they are just a clone on the planet Earth. Like,
yeah.
they never
So
like to study, but
you know
just
what?
to throw these kind of
You,
words.
you know what? I'm gonna strawman him. Yeah. So the reason he said this, he's gonna quote some. There is a verse in Surah Toba, Surah Al Bara. Yeah, which says about killing disbelievers. Yeah, in like following them. Yeah, but there is a context to it. You
Yeah,
can't leave the.
he's starting from. Sorry to interrupt, brother. As he is starting from Surah Toba, ayat number 5, but he is not reading
Yeah,
it from the start, like where it is
yeah,
talking about the treaty and everything. But he's just
yeah.
starting directly from the verse 5.
Yeah. So the simple answer is Islam doesn't teach us to kill the disbelievers. No, we are not there to kill the disbelievers, right? Yeah, and we
Again,
are
America,
Muslims.
America failed. Again, America failed. I'm sad to say that. Anyhow,
Yeah,
go ahead,
yeah.
brothers.
The only superpower who killed the most number of people in this century is America itself. Let's count the casualties of Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and then indirectly proxy wars of Egypt, Syria. I know, like they're gonna come up. The Syria is the
Vietnam.
Russian. No, Vietnam was the last century, but yeah, they killed a lot.
Now we
Um,
have to we have to count all of them. What the atrocities they have done to the whole world. So if we start to calculate them, like we can see like what's
yeah,
going on around the world.
yeah. So talk about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah, who killed
Yeah.
the most number of people? I think even the Taliban, they couldn't. Taliban and ISIS and all the Muslim terrorists, if you call them, yeah, they haven't put a number of casualties as large as America just made in one day in Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they dropped the bombs. That was more than 100,000 people died on a single day. And the after effects of that nuclear attack is felt today. Even the kids of those people, they are still disabled and they have the diseases. So if you talk about us, about fighting, yeah, America is certainly better at this time. But obviously he's just a troll, so he won't engage. Um, yeah. Anyway, so what was I talking about? I lost the train of my thoughts.
So we were talking about the CEOs in the world, as I was saying that there could be co-CEOs which do exist in Netflix, and there are many other companies. But yeah, we were saying that this was just a set example as a frame of reference, and yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like you
Yeah,
were
we
giving an example of a atheist who could have 10 CEOs in a company. Yeah, that could be a possibility, but technically it's only one CEO most of the time in the companies, and that's why we were giving this example.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
we should,
So
yeah, just leave it
so
on side.
I read finance and economics in university, and I never heard of a company which has more than one person at the top level hierarchy.
Yes,
So
basically the Netflix, they have two CEOs, so that's why I was saying that there could be companies existing in the world today which could have more than one CEOs, but
oh,
that's
okay,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough. But yeah, they're most of the non-conventional companies. They don't follow the traditional hierarchy. Okay, that's
yeah.
fine. But the point I made is that there are a lot of chances of disagreements. Yeah,
Hmm.
because a CEO or a person at the top, they have their own view, their own plan, their own strategy to run a company, right?
Hmm.
If there are two equal gods, yeah, the problem of running the universe, it will um, become even more tense. Yeah. So right now atheists say there is not even one god. But if, let's hypothetically say, if there were two gods, yeah, it will be even more difficult. Yeah, because they would fight each other. Yeah, let's say they don't fight each other, but every one of them, they he or she would run. Because nowadays on Netflix, they, I think it's Ariana Grande who says God is a woman, so that's why I say she. Motherless. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, these people have lost it, bro.
hmm,
So they would try to run the universe their own ways. So there would be disagreement at least,
hmm,
right? Yeah. Okay. So I think that would answer your question about why Islam is the better religion of them, because we have the pure notion of pure concept of monotheism, and why monotheism is the best is because the healthy way of creating and running a universe. Let's say, forget about running. Just talk about creating. When the God was creating universe, if there was another God, he would have said that, okay, I don't like oceans, let's say, make more mountains.
hmm,
Yeah. So if one is creating, hypothetically again, if one is creating, the other person, the other god is saying, is agreeing to everything. Yeah. Okay, god number A is saying that I'm gonna create the world. God number B is saying okay. Then God number A is saying that I would put mountains, oceans, and this and that. And God B says, okay. So that God B is basically a submissive God. It's not really on the same level. So the real God would be God A.
hmm.
So this is a bit of philosophical, logical arguments we use to prove the that one God is the best option we have. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I would like to add few things with regards to the communication with Allah. How is it better in Islam as compared to any other religion? In Islam, like as the people who do not know, how the Muslim pray, the Muslim have a system of five prayers in a day that being we Muslims, we pray five times a day, and in every prayer we have to recite the portion of Quran and some of the prayers, and in that way we believe that we are communicating with God every single day, five times a day, starting our day from we start our day with the prayer and end up our day with the prayer. So the whole day we are engaging ourselves with the God, and you will not find any single religion on planet earth which have that kind of direction to remember your God that many time in the whole day. And it's not only about praying just five times a day. When we meet our Muslim brother or sister, like, I mean, when I'm saying sister, like your blood relation relative sisters, definitely we say beautiful prayers to them, which are Assalamu Alikum, means peace be upon you, or maybe peace on you. And then the person who is hearing that prayer, he says you back, wa alaikum assalam, or peace on you also. So I mean, like, look at that. It's not only that you are connecting yourself with God, but you are connecting all the dots in the society to the gods as well. So I mean, it's a beautiful way of having a harmony in a society and having a whole societal connection with the creator. So it's a very beautiful system. And I challenge all of my brother and sister who are watching our stream and who will be watching our stream in future. They could not present a single case scenario uh, throughout the religions in the world that you could find out any example, a prime example like the Islam is presenting to you. So yeah, that's a beautiful relationship in Islam that you could have with your God five times a day, and there are some other religious obligations that you must do being a Muslim, and in that way it keep you in a connection with your creator. So that was our whole point. And yeah, that was it all about. And what would you say, brother Abbas? I think we were about to keep this session uh, smallest, and I think we will be live 5 more minutes, inshallah, and after that we will just end the session.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's, I think that makes sense. Because um, the connection with Creator is basically why we came to this world. So in Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, "وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ." I have not created the jinn. I think jinn in English is also jinn. So I have not created the jinn and the mankind except to worship me.
Subhanallah.
Yeah. So the purpose of worship is to connect with the Creator.
Hmm.
Why we connect with the Creator? Why is it so important? Yeah. Why should we even bother creating with the connecting with the Creator? Right? It's because He controls the affairs of our life. He created us. He created us to serve us. Like, let's say if a human being, he makes a car, yeah, or a train, or a plane. Why did he make them?
Hmm.
To get some benefit from it. Yeah. Although I'm not proposing that Allah is dependent on us, like human being is dependent on car or airplanes, but since He is created and He is perfectly independent, He thought this is the um, he thought it possible. Sorry, not he thought it suitable for us to be created and to worship Him. Yeah, we have
Hmm.
no control over it. Yeah, I mean, the atheists, they bring this point a lot in the debates, that why was Allah, why is Allah so bothered with us? Why is God so bothered with us worshiping Him? Yeah,
Hmm.
if I'm based, yeah, I would just say deal. What's the proper phrase? Deal with it. Yeah, yeah, I would say deal with it. He created you. Yeah, what can you do? Yeah,
Hmm.
unless you make this, you can fight him, you can make this planet and this universe eternal, and you would live here forever. You would like, you are able to deceive death
Hmm.
and stay here eternally. Unless you can do that, yeah, you have no right to say that why Allah created you. If you have done that successfully, you are eternal, and now the universe is eternal, you're gonna live forever. Okay, then you can say, okay, we don't care about Allah. But if you can't do that, you have to deal with His commands, with His message. And the best way to deal with that is by worshiping Him, to not
Hmm.
make Him angry. Yeah. If I'm working for someone in an organization, again, an unsuitable example. If I'm working for an organization and I'm taking salary, I would be wise to not piss my boss off, because he would fire me. You know what I mean?
Hmm. True.
Yeah. Yeah. So unless I find another job, like I say, unless you leave this world and go to another world which is not created by God, hypothetically, yeah, and you're living in this world, eating His food, His grown food, using His given limbs like eyes, hands, and everything, every favor upon you, you have no right to complain. You have no right to say that we won't accept the concept of God, because you are already taking all the perks, all the benefits He provided you. Yeah, just cut off your limbs. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you are wise, you would worship him, you would try to connect him, you would try to please him, you would do exactly as he said in his blessed speech, Quran Kareem. Yeah. And in Quran Kareem, he says, Atiullah wa atiur Rasul wa ulul amri minkum. Yeah. So obey Allah and obey his messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then those who are authority among you.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this is okay. The most interesting thing is whatever he tells us at the end of the day is gonna benefit us. It's not gonna benefit him in any capacity. He's complete. He's independent. So every command of his is for our benefit. Is not for his benefit. Yeah. So let's say if we have created a safe zone where we are safe from the anger and the rage of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah, for some time, yeah, and we don't follow his commands, we're still gonna lose because those commands were for our benefit. For example, he in his blessed speech, he says, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala nisa." The men are authority over women, right? The qawam over women.
Hmm.
And he says that he has given men a level above the woman, right?
Hmm.
The woman in feminism, feminist uh, movement, they decided that no, God was not sufficient, yeah, and he didn't thought it through. So they say, okay, men and women are equal, yeah. That's what they say. They say men or women are equal. It means that like God is not sufficient for to tell them. Like God was lacking in understanding, right? When he said, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala nisa." So the feminists, they came up with this idea of equality. Now the woman who was living in his household and she was um, she has to work only for her husband and her kids, right? Now the
Hmm.
woman, she goes to school, then she goes to university, then she goes to work, and at the same time she has to run the house as well. She goes to work to please his boss, yeah, and then she comes to home and pleases her husband, right? So
Hmm.
now her responsibilities have increased. So did the feminism as a movement benefited women or just gave them another set of responsibilities? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very I mean, it's a very deep conversation, very philosophical conversation. Then the simple answer would will be definitely they have put a lot more burden on them on the name of feminism.
In the name of freedom, basically. So in the name of freedom, um, they have brought upon themselves a lot more responsibilities, a lot more struggles, right?
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you deviate from what Allah has commanded for us.
Hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah. And now what they're saying is basically, I'm talking about LG HDTV. You know what I'm referring to. I don't want
Yeah,
our
yeah.
stream to get
A B
cancelled.
C D E F. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So all the alphabet people, they so the alphabet people, they can marry each other, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
and in that process they are unable to reproduce. Yeah. And in Europe and in America and all the other countries where this fitna is growing day by day, what is happening is that the population is decreasing and shrinking day by day. And one can say that at the end of the century the conditions would be much drastic and severe, and people will be much lesser in numbers, right?
Hmm.
But since they say love is love, yeah, and they want to spend their lives freely without the constraint of religion and society, what's happening is that they are going extinct. The human
Inshallah.
race in those countries is going is shrinking day by day. And if everyone is like that, there would be no reproduction and the human race will go extinct. Yeah. So as I said, if you think you are smarter than the creator itself and you have the better system, you're gonna suffer a lot. And this is what is happening, been unfolding in front of our eyes. Anyway, so the connection, we were talking about connections. Now we have established that connection with creator is very important. How to connect to himself? First thing is submission, which is shahada. Yeah, you become a Muslim. Once you submit your will, yeah, then you try to understand what he said, what he wants from us. Yeah, and how do we understand that? From Quranic dreams, right?
Hmm. Subhan.
And we have already told the steps, like what should we do in order to understand the Quran, in order to learn the Quran Kareem, and I won't go into details again. So if you have read the Quran and you understood it, you have to follow it. Yeah, Quran
Hmm.
and Sunnah and all the Islamic teachings, you have to follow them. And when you follow them, there is a much larger possibility that you will connect to creator. You would feel his blessings on you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's called tranquility in English and sakina in Arabic and Urdu. So you will feel the sakina descending from the heavens and uh, covering your whole body, your whole persona. Yeah, you will feel the effects of sakina, the tranquility in your life. Yeah. In his blessed speech, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innal kulub. Yeah.
Subhanallah.
There is no tranquility for the heart except the remembrance of Allah. Yeah. I just provided a rough translation, which is basically mafhum, right? So you can be a billionaire, you can have billions in bank balance, and you could be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. Yeah. But if you don't have tranquility in your heart, you're not a humble servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no point of collecting, amassing all that wealth. It's gonna go away one day. Yeah,
Hmm.
you will die, I will die, everyone will die. But that person who submitted his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be much better in the afterlife. When he stands in front of his Lord, he will be much better. Yeah, than the person who didn't believe in the Lord as an existence altogether. Yeah. So I think that's why, and that's how we are going to establish a connection between the creator. So obligatory prayers, Quran Kareem, and do as much as nawafil you can, and the zikr of Allah, remembrance of Allah. These are the best ways to connect yourself to the creator.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Brother Abbas, you explained it very well. Jazakallah khair for your explanation, and you described the whole perspective of Muslims' prayers, and you also have discussed beautifully that what these atheists believe and why their belief is false. And yeah, that was so beautiful, alhamdulillah. And inshallah we will be ending up our stream on here, and inshallah we will be live next week with a different topic. And we encourage all of our brother and sisters, if they want to join us, they could come to our live stream and join us and speak to us. If you believe to a different system, we do not discourage you. We do not, like to have a bad discussion or, abusive words. But our whole aim is to have a civil conversation. But the whole point is the internet trolls who come to different live stream and say words and then just run away. I think it's not a good approach. If you are not willing to learn in your life, you will, you will never be better. So I humbly request to all of my brother and sisters, if they want to join, please come on stage, ask questions. If you feel shy, then you could ask questions in a comment section. We will try to answer your questions if we can. Otherwise, I will definitely, we will definitely look into your questions and we'll answer you next time, inshallah. And any last words, brother Awais, or?
Yeah, I would end with Ihya Ulumuddin's Imam Al Ghazali, rahimahullah, provided a very beautiful hadith. Yeah,
Mhm.
which says that in a narration it is written that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was passing by three of his companions. He saw he sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw that Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu was reciting Quran very in a very low voice, yeah,
Hmm.
and like faint voice. And when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked the reason of reciting very slowly, Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu said that I am praying from uh, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from a holy existence, holy from the Almighty, that and I know that He is listening to me. So it doesn't matter if I. So what he meant is basically that if I speak loud or slow, it doesn't matter. He's listening to me. I'm talking to a very powerful human being who is Samiul Alim. Then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he passed by Umar Radiallahu Ta'ala anhu, who was reciting in a very high voice. Yeah. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he asked the reason of him reciting in a high voice, in a loud voice. And Umar Radiallahu Ta'ala anhu, he said that I am awaking the people who have slept. Yeah. What it means by this, so the sleep is two kind of there is two kind of sleeps. So first kind is that the person's qalb is sleeping. So when somebody is reciting Quran in a loud voice, there is a good chance that the heart which has slept is going to awake. Yeah. The other meaning of this hadith is that it was night time and people who don't know the value of Qiyamul Layl, the value of reciting and praying in the night, apart from obligatory prayers, Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala was awaking them up to come to the masjid. Yeah. Or if they don't come to masjid, pray in their own houses. Yeah. That's why he was reciting loud. Right.
Hmm.
Then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. So Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala also said that I am also um, I'm also pushing shaitan away. Yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
waking the people and I'm also pushing the shaitan away. Then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he passed by Hazrat Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Bilal radiallahu anhu was reciting from different kind of surahs. So he was picking one surah and he would recite this and then he would go on to a random surah in later paras and he would recite that. Yeah. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he asked him that why are you doing this? And Bilal radiallahu anhu said that I am mixing one fine thing with another fine thing, right? So, like the whole Quran is the best, yeah. No matter where I pick the surah from, yeah, it will tell me a very nice. It will give me a very nice feeling, right? So he says that I'm mixing one good thing with another good thing, one fine thing with another fine thing. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said that kullukum kad ahsana wa asab. All of you have done good. All of you have done correct.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the lesson we can take from this hadith is that recite Quran. Read Quran. Try to contemplate on its meaning. Yeah, it's never a lost thing. You're never gonna lose anything by that. Yeah, you would always get something if you
Mm.
s- if you recite in a slow voice, in a low voice, or if you recite in a loud voice. If you recite from any part of the Quran, is gonna benefit you. This is the
Subhanallah.
lesson we take from this. And there is a like a whole chapter which Imam al Ghazali took from these hadiths, this hadith, and he took a lot of lesson that, for example, he says that Abu Bakr was reading in very slow voice, and in reading that way, a person could say that I am not ostentatious. Yeah, I'm not doing riyakari. I'm not showing off. Yeah, that's why I'm reading in slow voice. So yeah, so he made a whole chapter on it. I can give you the page number if you want. Page number 513, Ihya Ulum, Volume 1, in Urdu edition. Yeah. So I would end on this note. Yeah. See you next week.
Jazakallah, brother
Inshallah.
Awais. It was a very beautiful edition as usual, and yeah, as we have discussed a lot of things today, I will just try to do the whole. I will. I mean, I will try to summarize the whole context of this stream. That basically we talked about the importance of Quran, importance of religion, importance of a relationship with God, and at the end, importance of reading Quran. I would like to invite all of my friends for the next time. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Will be awesome, inshallah. And if you are yeah, Urdu speaking or Hindi speaking audience, do not forget to come to our Urdu speaking channels, which are brother Awais channel name is Armagane Hijaz Podcast or Awais Ahmad Podcast. If I'm not wrong, Awais, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
And
handle is at the rate of a West Ahmed podcast. But I do another podcast saying Al Mughana Hijaz. So yeah.
if you can post your channel link in the comment section, it will be good, so our audience will inshallah join that. And also we have another channel, Islam versus Modernity. It's our Urdu channel, and you can come and join to our Urdu channel if you really want to add on, or if you have any questions, feel free to come and join, inshallah. So we will be back next week on the same time, same channel, inshallah. We'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.